I'm all out of love. I'm so lost without you. Hi everybody, welcome back to Tunes 91. I'm gonna talk about my 5 favorite fragrances to wear this winter. Now, let me just start with a preface here. Preface? Preface. Depends on who you are and how you pronounce it. I call it a preface. I'm gonna preface this by saying this isn't really a top 5. Like, it's a top 5, but it's not a top 5. Top 5s get a lot of viewership, but, you know, at the end of the day, I could literally come up with a top 150 or a top 200 favorite, winter, fall fragrances, because there's just so many that are so good. But the ones that are readily available to me that I now own in my collection, because I've really cut back on my collection. I've, sold a bunch of stuff, but my favorite fragrances are the heavier ones. So we're gonna go through the 5 that I am wearing most often this winter currently. So starting off at number 5 isn't necessarily number 5. There's no real particular order other than number 1. Number 1 is number 1. But number 5, I've given a lot of praise to on my channel. As you can see, the bottle's almost done. I have, there's that taco salad. Yep. Number 5 is Paco Rabanne 1 Million Privé, and I have talked about this pretty highly on my channel. I gave it pretty high marks on my review. As you can see, the bottle is almost done. I love this fragrance. I will definitely buy a bottle immediately when it is all gone. It's just a really, really nice creamy cinnamon tobacco combination with some woods and stuff in it. It doesn't last too long on my skin in the winter. With the really, really cold winter days, it's lasting maybe 7 hours noticeably, but after that it kind of dissipates. Not too terrible, but in the winter we do kind of tend to, especially if you're in Canada or upstate New York or any northern states in America where we get a lot of snow and shitty wind and all that nonsense that's just slushy, crappy crap. It's crap. We like high performance. I want it to project, I want it to last all day, etc., etc., etc. No different than any other season, really. But I will say that this performance for the really cold days in the winter isn't all that great. But I do love it. It's a great cozy scent, great date scent, great intimate scent. Paco Rabanne 1 Million Privé. Number 4, we have this lovely little gem here. This is probably, maybe, depending on the day you ask me, my favorite by Kilian fragrance. This is Straight to Heaven. It is absolutely gorgeous. I have a review of this. God, I was probably 22 when I reviewed that fragrance on this channel. So look way back if you want to see my opinion and review on that. It hasn't changed any. I think it's a masterpiece. It's very simple. Simplicity done right. Rum, cedar, and patchouli. That's about it. And it smells delicious. It smells sexy. I personally love the shit out of that fragrance in the summertime of all times, but it's great in the winter. It projects, it cuts through the winter cold, and it is a really lovely, cozy fragrance. Number 4, Straight to Heaven by Kilian. Bye bye, Kilian. Number 3 is a two-way tie because they are essentially the same fragrance, just kind of different, but they're kind of the same, but they're kind of different, but they're kind of the same, but they're kind of different, but they're kind of the same. We have Dior Homme Parfum, okay, which has a little bit of that Fahrenheit DNA that mixes with Dior Homme Intense and Dior Homme, and it's a concoction of all 3, really. It's like the perfect blend of all 3, and so it has a really, really prominent lipstick note, but also has a really, really prominent petrol note, but also has a really prominent, not really cocoa, but like patchouli, cocoa, woods combination thing, because it doesn't get nearly as sweet as the original formulation, which is the only formulation that we should even be talking about and that they should go back to for Dior Homme Intense. Not nearly as cakey or vanilla-y. It's just a really, really nice, more manly concoction, if that's something that kind of drove you away from Intense and Dior Homme, which is kind of arguably the whole point of the fragrance, is pushing the limit and changing masculinity in fragrance and perception, with it being an iris-based fragrance with powder. But nevertheless, if you liked the DNA but never thought you could really pull it off, this is like amped up to a million masculine version of that, with that petrol and patchouli stuff going on in it. And then of course we have vintage. It has to be vintage, it has to be said, because I don't give a single flying shit about the new formulation of Dior Homme Intense. I think it's crap. It's just crap. If I had never experienced this ever, then I would like it, to be honest with you. It's not crap, it's not really crap. It's just that this vanilla note is the best fucking vanilla note I have ever experienced in my whole life. Arguably, maybe, depending on what day you ask me. But it is really sexy. Iris. Oh my god, yes. I used the tiniest amount just because this is all I've got. This is the last bottle I've got. I bought literally 6 bottles of this. I think I had 3 100 ml bottles, and this was my third 50 ml bottle, and this is the only one I've got left. And then after that, it's freaking gone, and I have to pay out my ass for a bottle for it. You know, it's like $200 or $300 for that bottle these days on eBay, and I don't really know if I don't know if it's worth it, but at the same time, I love this stuff and I've had it for so long. So if you can get your hands on the vintage Dior Homme Intense, I highly, highly recommend it. If you cannot, I would say that the new version and or some of the alternatives that smell similar to Dior Homme Intense are very good choices as well. There's some out there that smell very, very similar. Yeah, it's good stuff. This is a masterpiece. Why would they ever change it? I'm sad. I'm a sad boy. Number 2 is my absolute favorite chocolate cocoa combination, whatever you want to call it, and also my favorite Slumber House fragrance, and this is Slumber House Or. It's gonna sound really odd, but this fragrance, it smells like old books, like old leather-bound, dusty books, mixed with a whole lot of cocoa and some woods. Like, imagine, let's spray it on. Yeah, so imagine basically you are eating like those cocoa powdered almonds, sipping some hot chocolate in an incredibly old library. Like, picture Beauty of the Beast shit. Beauty and the Beast shit, where there's just books galore in this library, and they're just stacked, and there's stacks upon stacks upon stacks, and this giant ladder, and they're all just these old, dusty, magnificent, magical, wonderful books, and smelling like that combination of like old, musty, dusty, leather-bound pages, and the cocoa kind of intermingling, and you're sitting in like a hardwood chair. All those smells kind of mixing together. That's that, and I freaking adore it, and I think it's wonderful for winter. It's a cozy scent. Doesn't get a whole lot of compliments, honestly. I figured that it would be a really wonderful intimate fragrance when I first picked it up, but I've found over time that it's more one for me that makes me feel good. So that being said, if you want a nice, fun, cozy fragrance that you can enjoy on your own, I think that Or is the perfect pickup for that. And lastly, but certainly not least, because to be honest with you, for whatever reason, this is like my new favorite that I just find myself wearing all the time. I would say that this is something that I could pull off all year long, primarily spring, but for some reason I can't get enough of this. And if you know me, you know that I love Tobacco Vanille. That has not made it on this list. Jubilation 25, Silver Factory, all these wonderful, wonderful fragrances. Reflection Man is probably arguably still my signature scent, but we have a contender here. and that is 1725 by Histoires de Parfum. I just love this stuff. It gets compliments galore. It's much cheaper than Reflection Man, and it lasts and projects just as well. And it's a little bit more masculine. Not that that matters to me at all. It doesn't, because arguably some of my favorite fragrances of all time are pretty feminine leaning. Black Orchid, Angelique, Noir, Tonka Imperial. The list could go on of fragrances that would be otherwise considered feminine if you weren't a fragrance nerd like us. But this is just a really nice combination of powdery, spicy, and sweet. I love the... Well, I shouldn't say this, because it's not necessarily true. I really don't like licorice at all. I don't like the taste of it. I don't like the smell of it. But there is a prominent anise note in this, which lends itself to a bit of a licorice smell, but it kind of dissipates and just intermingles and makes it a little bit spicier and warmer. And I just love this. This has been my daily fragrance. I've only owned this for a month, and I've gone through this much. I just find myself reaching for it like every other day, honestly. So I think that this has become my new staple for just daily, non-offensive wear. If I had to choose a perfect niche fragrance for inoffensive projection, longevity, etc., you know, it functions properly and cuts to the cold air, this would probably be it. It'd be a tie between this and Reflection, honestly, but this is financially more suitable for picking up multiple bottles over time, and it smells just as good, if not better. So that has been my list of the top 5 that I have been wearing most often for this winter. I hope to see in the comments down below if you would like to let me know what yours have been. Top 5, top 10, top 15, doesn't matter. I'm always interested. There are heavy hitters that did not make it on this list just based on the fact that I was trying to condense it. I love my Tom Fords. I'm a Tom Ford fanboy, so just know that Tuscan leather, ombre leather, oud wood, tobacco vanille, tobacco oud, they're all being used like it's nobody's business. Again, Jubilation, Reflection would be on the list. Back to Black would be on the list. The list goes on, you know, it goes on. It could be never ending, but these are the 5 that I'm really gravitating towards the most as of now, and I hope to see what you all have to say about that. So I will talk to you all later, and I hope you all have a good one. Bye.